Shalom. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. This is Yahweh Tazad is coming back with another video. Just want to go into some scriptures regarding the last days, the days that we're approaching, where brothers, primarily the elect, we're not going to have things we're not going to have things accessible to us as we do right now, which we all know that, but it's for the part of the exhortation, admonishment, the reminder of what's to come and what's going to be set before us. And then that's where we're going to have to utilize, as we've been doing, but in that time utilize faith to its most maximum ability within whatever the Lord has blessed you with. And I believe even in those times the Lord's going to increase the brothers' faith, okay? And because that's the only way we're going to be able to endure all the said perils that are going to be set before us, and things that we're going to witness, and the different things that we're going to feel within this body that we've never felt before. Okay, so that's just the premise of the video, is to eat now to be fed later. Okay, so right here I have Revelations 10 and 8. And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be Salak. But it shall be and it shall Salak. Let me start over. Revelations 10 and 9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Okay, and that little book is the Bible, which is, we have with the prophecies. All right, the law, statutes, and commandments, the prophecies, which in old times they were written upon parchments, clay on stone and things of that nature. But in our time it's written on paper, or printed on paper, and compiled in what we know as a book. Biblios, los biblios is the books, and they come in the form of letters. All right, let me see. So then it goes on to say in verse 10, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. So this was told unto John the Revelator. So that means that he's back because it says right there in verse 11 that he must prophesy again before many peoples, nations, tongues, and kings. So John the Revelator is here right now in our time, doing the same thing that he did during the time that I'm reading right now. Okay, and he was in the island of Patmos when he was given the revelations of the end of days and the downfall of Great Babylon, mystery Babylon. Okay, so I want to go into that word bitter real quick before I move on, just to show that how when you eat, especially if you're a newcomer into the fold and you're called by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, it's going to be sweet and then it's going to be bitter. But within that bitterness, it's going to it's gonna do its job as far as purge you of any kind of infirmities, any kind of it's like the bitter herbs. That's what they do. They purify the blood. They do a lot of cleansing when you eat the bitter herbs. A lot of people don't mess with the bitter herbs because they're too harsh, but there's ways of consuming them. Okay, but that's the way the Bible is, the words of the Heavenly Father. And so right here at the outline of biblical usage, it says to make bitter, produce a bitter taste in the stomach, right? But that we know that this word ain't going into the physical lower parts of the stomach and your intestines. No, it's going into the mind. Okay, that's where it becomes bitter. But it's all symbolic. So it says to embitter, exasperate, to render anger, indignant, to be embittered, irritated, to visit with bitterness, grieve, deal bitterly with. So Roman numeral 2, it says to embitter or exasperate. Let's look up that word, exasperate. It says to irritate and frustrate someone intensely. So it's going to start doing its work. It's going to start to make your mind to be irritated, because that's how it's almost like it's an exercise. It's almost like an exorcist, because whatever you had prior to coming to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, it's going to rid of anything that is not, because the Holy Spirit can't deal in a malicious soul. So it's going to rid of anything that is impure. Okay, and you have to be willing and open for that process to occur, to let it purge out anything that is there. Okay, and that's what it is to exasperate. Okay, to irritate and frustrate someone intensely. So you're gonna have a lot of different emotions, because at first it's gonna be sweet to your ears and it's be sweet in your mouth, but then things are gonna settle, and then you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna get that stomach pain, and you're gonna feel frustrated, irritated in the mind, because of the things that are gonna come to pass that you're gonna start learning as you go. So let's go back. All right. So as John did, he took the little book and read it and everything. He ate it. Okay. He ate the book, and it said it was sweet in his mouth, like as honey. And so let's go to Ecclesiastes 1. And I think it's the last verse. Ecclesiastes 1 and 18. For with much wisdom for with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. Okay, that was the NIV. Let me read over here at the KJV. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increases sorrow. All right, so that's that bitterness. Okay. Let's go to Ezekiel 3. And let me see. Ezekiel 2 and 9. Salakia. Ezekiel 2 and 8. But thou son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like the rebellious house. That's talking about Israel. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written therein and without. And there was written therein lamentations, mourning, and woe. So that's the bitterness. The sweet parts is like you finding out who you are as a people. You're a Hebrew Israelite, you're a Negro Latino, a Native American Indian here in this land of captivity. The byword that was given unto you, and you find out your true nationality, who you come from, starting with Adam, all the way down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and one of the 12 tribes you spring from. But as you read and you start to ingest all these things, you start to understand there's a lot of bitterness that comes with this salvation, this deliverance, this knowledge. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But you have to eat. You have to toil. You have to work into this. That way you could seal up yourself, Lord willing. If you're the elect, you're already sealed if you're the elect, but you're going to move in action. You're going to move in the pattern and the examples of a man of the Lord as an elect. Okay. Let's look up right here in some of these words for Lamentations. It says the outline of biblical usage, the lamentation, the ridge or elegy, I believe. Let me see. Translate English.
Elegy.
Yeah, elegy. Let's look up what that word. It says a poem of serious reflection, typically a lament for the dead. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. A poem of serious reflection, typically a lament for the dead. All right, but even though we're going to be lamenting for, because we know that the lamentations, woes, and let me see, in the mornings is because of the destruction that's coming upon the world of Israel, but we're supposed to make sure that we focus on the elect. That's where that joy and everything like that is going to come back out after you get over the whole bitterness. Then you can start focusing on what's important. Okay, but it's a process. It's to try you. It's to test you to see if you can overcome those stomach pains of that irritation, that frustration, because you're gonna be not only that you're gonna be attacked by spirits. And I've spoken to a lot of people in the past, and they would always tell me things that started to happen, changed for them once they started hearing the truth. And it's because their spirit is starting to be affected. It's starting to be exercised because this word is pure, like 7 times dipped, if I'm not mistaken. I'm roughly paraphrasing. It's in the book of Psalms. Okay, so it's gonna really start to activate. It's gonna really start to do its thing, exasperate and move in you. All right, so that's Lamentations. Let's look at the word mourning. It says outline of biblical uses: rumbling, growling, moaning, a sigh, moan, sighing. And it's not going to be a light thing. Muttering and sight, thought as thunder, right? So it's gonna be painful, man. So let's go back and let's go to chapter 3. It says, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll and go speak unto the house of Israel. Right. So once you start to eat and you get over that part of the bitterness, you go and speak. You go and speak to your people, breaking things down with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, and then in turn, you will feed them as you were once fed. Okay, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 4. So answered I and said, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding, and devour wisdom. For thou hast agreed to give ear, and are willing to prophesy, for thou hast no longer space than only to live. So Ezra understood that he had to swallow them down, but referencing his soul, understanding, and devour wisdom. So he knew that he understood that his mind, he had to take in or ingest this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that was being shown to him. The prophecies and things of that nature. So the same thing with Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel, Nehemiah, Malachi, all the prophets, they all had to swallow it down. Okay, meaning in the mind. Let me read that again. 2nd Ezra 8 and 4. So answered I and said, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding, and devour wisdom. Okay, for thou hast agreed to give ear and are willing to prophesy. Just like Ezekiel was giving commandment right now, And in the verse 1, chapter 3, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat thou that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So the same thing was with Ezra. It says, for thou hast no longer space than only to live. O Lord, if thou suffer not thy servant, that we may pray unto thee, and thou give us seed unto our heart, and culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit of it, how should then each man live that is corrupt, who beareth the place of a man? For thou art alone, and we all one workmanship of thine hands, like as thou hast said. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and thou givest its members, thy creature is preserved in fire and water, and 9 months doth thy workmanship endure, thy creature which is created in her. But that which keepeth and is kept shall both be preserved, and when the time cometh, the womb preserved delivereth up the things that grew in it. Right. So even during the woman's pregnancy, she's gonna have the emotions and the feelings of irritation and pain and things of that nature, especially when she gets to her to the time of where she's fully gonna conceive the child to come forth into the world, the birth pains. Okay. So but once she gets over that, past that, she's relieved, she's of joy and happiness. So that's the same thing that you have to consider. Eat be fed to eat later. Eat now to be fed later. Okay. And it's all the Lord's gonna take care of you. He's got to do exactly what it is that he commands of you. So going back to Ezekiel 3 and 2, so I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not too many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Right, but even within that, there's a bitterness in that too. But you have to continue and keep pushing. Keep eating, keep doing the work to the best of your ability, of course. See what other scripture I can find regarding that. Let's see. You know what? There's this one that came to my mind. Let's see. I think it's in the book of Luke. Let's see. This is Luke chapter 6 verse 20. And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, Blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom of the Most High. Blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, but ye shall laugh. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. See, so that's all bitterness, But like it's a blessing though. Rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. So they did the same thing unto all the prophets, and the prophets did the same thing they all felt the same thing when it said, "Blessed are ye that hunger now, and ye shall be filled." So you're gonna be filled. You hunger now, you means what? You eat, and then later your reward is you're gonna be filled. Okay, you're gonna be fed later on with what? The protection, the blessings, the gifts, the protection, the hedge of protection by way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay. Verse 24, but woe unto you that are rich, ye have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for you shall hunger. So you see, it's the opposite. Woe unto you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. Let's see. So yeah, man, you have to eat, because the internet's not going to be up too much longer, especially, even if it is, they're going to do away with, anything that's being spoken about the internet against their the way they run things in the earth. They're going to take down brothers' videos, anything, all these truthers too, everything that has any type of knowledge or instruction or guidance towards of you being considered like a free man, and at opposition against tyranny and things of that nature. You're gonna be taken down. You're gonna be looked at as an enemy, because you're not walking in the same spirit as they are, and as they're showing that your allegiance towards them. Like the scriptures say, you make it yourself a prey, because you go towards righteousness, truth, roughly paraphrasing from Isaiah. Okay. Let's get this one. Let me see. It's the 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. Chapter 3. Start at verse 8. It says, neither did we eat any man's bread for naught, but wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to any of you, not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example unto you to follow us. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, should not eat. For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. Now them that are such we command and exhort by the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, with quietness they work and eat their own bread. But you brethren, be not weary in well doing. And if any man obey not our word by this epistle, note that man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed. Yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother. So you got to work, you got to eat now to be fed later, to reap the benefits of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, to be protected, and to overcome and endure the coming famines. The famine of the word. You want to be filled with the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you want to be filled, physically with from the hunger pains, however the Lord sees fit. Like I said, like in one of my other videos, it was either before the Day of Atonement or after the Day of Atonement. In between, I had 2 dreams of manna, and we already know that the Lord sent the manna unto Israel during their exile from Egypt into the wilderness, and they were fed there, for 40 years. And they were fed there, and That's basically what manna means, is what is it. That's what it translates to. So, but they were still nourished. Matter of fact, you know what? That's the one that came to my mind. Nourished. I think it's this one. First Timothy's 4:6. If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yahweh Mashiach, nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained. Right, so you want to be nourished. You know what I'm saying? So in that time, you're going to be nourished. You're going to be taken care of. Right? The Lord's going to bring you under like a hen with the chicks that would take shelter and protection under the mother hen's wings. Let's look up this word, nourished up. Says, outline of biblical usage, says to nourish in a person or a thing. Metaphor, to educate, form the mind. So you want to have your mind fortified and formed in the way and the likeness of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in order to be protected, okay, to be fed in that time. So it says in Strong's definitions, to educate. Let's look up nourish. It says provide with the food or other substances necessary for growth, health, and good condition. Enhance the fertility of soil. Keep a feeling or belief in one's mind, typically for a long time. So you want to be nourished, and you will be nourished in that time. So I hope that was edifying. Till next time, I want to say shalom.